I have to be honest, when I first watched Jason Morgan stand there and tell Sonny Corinthos that he was stepping away from the mob, my jaw literally hit the floor. We are talking about Jason Morgan, the enforcer, the loyal right hand, the man who has bled, sacrificed, and practically died for the Corinthos organization time and time again. The moment I saw this, I knew something was wrong. Or rather, I knew something much bigger was happening beneath the surface. For decades, Jason's unwavering loyalty to Sonny has been the one unbreakable rule of General Hospital. So, to see him just walk away and claim he only wants to prioritize Danny, I love it. I really do. But I keep thinking about how abrupt it feels. Is it really just about Danny? Or is there a massive, earth-shattering secret that the writers are slowly setting up right in front of our eyes? I wasn't ready for that scene at all, but the more I replayed it in my head, the more a completely wild theory started forming. If you ask me, Jason's decision to abandon his life in Sonny's organization is not just about making up for lost time with Danny. I think there is a hidden piece of the puzzle, a secret so deeply buried that it changes the entire landscape of Jason's return to Port Charles. What if Phoebe is actually Jason's secret daughter? And what if the late Delilah Wilson was the woman Jason loved in secret all this time? I know, it sounds insane at first glance, but stay with me here. We have all these seemingly disconnected storylines right now. Jason leaving the mob, Ethan Lovett's mysterious confession, Ava Jerome's paternity investigation, and this terrifying new guy, Hudson, arriving in town. What if they are all connected by one tragic off-screen romance? Let's rewind a bit and look at Jason's history. Think back to the time when Jason was desperately searching for Britt Westbourne. He was completely off the canvas, moving in the shadows, operating entirely under the radar. We only saw fragments of what he was actually doing during that period. I honestly can't help feeling that during that incredibly lonely and desperate time, Jason crossed paths with Delilah. Maybe they bonded over their shared trauma, or maybe she helped him when he was at his absolute lowest point. I think there is a very real possibility that Jason and Delilah had a deeply passionate, entirely secret romance while the rest of Port Charles had absolutely no idea. They could have been seeing each other in secret, building a quiet little world away from the violence, the guns, and the endless mob wars. But this is Jason Morgan we are talking about. His life is steeped in danger, and he knows it better than anyone. When Jason found out that Delilah was pregnant, I can entirely see him making the agonizing, heartbreaking decision to walk away from her. I understand why he would do it. Jason knows that his enemies are ruthless. He has seen what happens to the women and children connected to him. Look at what happened to Sam, or Elizabeth, or even Britt. He probably thought that by cutting all ties with Delilah, he was building an invisible wall of protection around her and their unborn child. He sacrificed his own happiness and his chance to be a father from day one, just to ensure that Delilah and the baby would never be targeted by the people who want him dead. Sadly, as we all know, tragedy struck anyway. Delilah passed away in a sudden, devastating turn of events, leaving little Phoebe behind in a world without her mother. I can only imagine the sheer grief Jason must have felt, watching from the shadows, unable to step forward and claim his daughter without putting a massive target on her back. I love this storyline potential because it adds so much tragic depth to Jason's character, but something still bothers me. I have to admit, it frustrates me to no end that Jason always defaults to this martyr complex. He always thinks pushing people away is the only way to save them. I still think that was a massive mistake. If he had just been there, maybe things would have been different for Delilah. Maybe she wouldn't have died. When Brooklyn Quartermain and Harrison Chase stepped up to adopt Phoebe, Jason probably breathed a massive sigh of relief. He saw two good, decent people, a dedicated cop, and a fiercely protective Quartermain providing a safe, loving, and stable home for his daughter. A home completely free from the mob, free from the violence, and free from the dangerous Corinthos name. That is exactly why Jason stayed away. That is why he kept his mouth shut and let the world believe whatever they wanted about Phoebe's parentage. He thought she was finally safe. He thought his painful sacrifice had actually worked and that his little girl would grow up with a normal, happy life. But guys, the writers are clearly stirring the pot right now, and this is where the fan conflict inside me really starts tearing me apart. Part of me wants to believe that Ethan Lovett is just wrapped up in his own messy, typical con games. Another part of me thinks Ethan knows exactly who Phoebe's father is, and that is why he is so terrified. Remember when Ethan took that bullet to the butt to protect Ava Jerome? While he was bleeding out in the gallery, in a moment of sheer vulnerability, he confessed that Phoebe was not his biological daughter. Ava has been fiercely interrogating him ever since, absolutely refusing to let it go. Ethan tried to backtrack, claiming he was just delirious from the pain, but Ava isn't stupid. And then, right when Ava starts investigating and considering a secret DNA test, Ethan suddenly has to flee town. That changed everything for me. Ethan isn't just running from Ava's relentless questions. He is running from a ghost. Enter Hudson. This mysterious, intimidating business executive literally just touched down in Port Charles, and suddenly Ethan is packing his bags in a blind panic. We know Hudson is looking for someone specific. What if Hudson is intimately connected to Delilah's past? Or, worse, what if Hudson is an old, dangerous enemy of Jason's who finally figured out the truth about Delilah and the baby? If Hudson and the dark forces behind him are hunting for Phoebe, or the secrets Delilah left behind, the invisible wall Jason built around his daughter is completely destroyed. The threat is no longer theoretical. It is walking the streets of Port Charles. If Hudson is a direct threat to Phoebe, Jason has absolutely no choice but to step into the light. He cannot watch from the shadows anymore while his daughter is in the crosshairs. This is exactly why his decision to leave Sonny's organization hits so hard for me right now. It isn't just about retiring. It isn't just about taking Danny on a father-son vacation or making up for lost time. If my theory is right, Jason is clearing the deck. He is severing his ties with the mob so that when he finally claims Phoebe as his own, she won't be dragged into Sonny's endless bloody wars. He needs a completely clean slate to fight this new threat, and he can't do that if he is still Sonny's enforcer. I keep thinking about what this means for Jason's overall character evolution. We have watched this man be a deadly, emotionless enforcer for decades. He was stone cold. But now he wants to be a father. Not just to Danny, and not just to Jake, but to Phoebe as well. He wants to build a fortress around his children that isn't made of mob money and violence. He is trying to redeem all those lost years and terrible choices. He realizes that staying away didn't protect Delilah, and it certainly won't protect Phoebe from someone as dangerous as Hudson. The only way to truly protect his kids is to actually be there, standing between them and the danger, as a father, not a mobster. Maybe I'm being unfair, but I know a lot of fans are going to call this theory absolutely ridiculous. I can already hear the comments typing away. We never saw Jason and Delilah together on screen. There was absolutely no build-up to this. And you know what? You are completely right. We didn't see it. But if you ask me, that is exactly what makes this potential twist so incredibly brilliant. General Hospital is notorious for playing the long game and hiding massive secrets off-screen for months, sometimes years, before dropping the bomb on us. They have deliberately kept Jason's timeline murky. They have deliberately kept Delilah's past a massive question mark. They want us to be blindsided. I honestly can't decide if the writers planned this from the start or if they are just tying loose ends together now to create a compelling narrative, but it works so perfectly. Imagine the shockwave it would send through Port Charles. Brooke, Lynn, and Chase, who have loved, protected, and raised Phoebe as their own flesh and blood, suddenly finding out that Jason Morgan, the most notorious hitman in town, is her biological father. Tracy Quartermain would absolutely lose her mind. The drama, the custody fears, the emotional fallout, it is pure soap opera gold. And Jason would have to stand there and take all their anger, all their hatred, because he knows he brought this immense danger to their peaceful doorstep. This is exactly why I am so emotionally invested right now. I love the idea of Jason Morgan finally choosing his family over Sonny Corinthos. For years, Carly and Sonny have always come first. Whenever Sonny snapped his fingers, Jason came running, leaving his own kids waiting in the background. To see him finally say no more is so deeply satisfying as a longtime fan. But to realize that he might be doing it because he is secretly carrying the heavy weight of a dead lover and a hidden daughter, I genuinely wasn't expecting that. It turns a simple retirement storyline into a desperate, heartbreaking mission of a father trying to save his little girl from the sins of his past. And think about the confrontation between Jason and Hudson. If Hudson is truly hunting Phoebe, Jason is going to unleash a level of protective fury we haven't seen in years. He won't be fighting for Sonny's territory. He will be fighting for his daughter's life. Ethan Lovett knows this. Ethan knows that if he gets caught in the crossfire between Jason Morgan and Hudson, he is a dead man walking. That is why Ethan ran. He knows the truth about Phoebe, he knows why Delilah died, and he knows that Port Charles is about to become a war zone. Ava Jerome is going to be furious when she realizes she was interrogating Ethan about a secret that could literally get them all killed. If the script really goes in this direction, Jason's departure from the underworld is a profound story of redemption. It's about a man trying to fix the greatest mistake of his life. He couldn't save Delilah, but he will burn the entire world down to save Phoebe. I am sitting here practically vibrating with anxiety, just waiting to see what Hudson does next and how Jason reacts when the truth finally comes out. We are on the verge of one of the biggest emotional explosions in General Hospital history, and I am here for every single second of it. Am I the only one feeling this way? Guys, what do you think? Am I reading way too much into Ethan's panic, Hudson's mysterious arrival, and Jason's sudden lifestyle change, or do you think Phoebe is actually a Morgan? Could Delilah really have been Jason's secret love? Let me know down in the comments, because I am losing my mind over this, and I need to know if we are all seeing the same puzzle pieces coming together.
Goodbye. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the GH Spoilers Daily channel.